What is up, gamers? The Real Gamer Hour is starting right now. This is an absolute top-tier gaming podcast featuring Mtashed, KackisHD, and true Vanguard himself. Boys, you're looking good today. You're looking damn good today. I'm excited for this. It's going to be a good day. We got some juicy little topics. How was your week?
I had a really good week.
Yeah?
Got a lot done. Also got to spend a lot of time with the fam. Good stuff.
No one cares about my dang week. Let's get on to the topics, baby.
Okay, fair enough. What are we talking about then?
Well, the first thing we're talking about, gamers, is going to be a story. Dude, this is kind of a story I want to tell. I want to push this. This is kind of what's going on in one of my favorite communities, which is the Magic the Gathering community. Now, yeah, I know you guys don't know anything about it. I know. Oh, look at that eye roll, TV. Like, come on, dude. Now, listen, though. Listen. This is going to be some of the craziest stuff you've ever heard, even if you don't know what the heck Magic the Gathering is. This is a story of like a company's that's greed makes EA look generous. All right. This is actually This is crazy right here. All right. So essentially what happened is the people who make Magic the Gathering, which is like a card game, it's like Hearthstone or Yu-Gi-Oh! To that vein, their corporate overlords, Hasbro, said, you're going to double revenue in 5 years. So they just been doing absolutely scummy stuff. Like, they keep pushing out super overpowered cards to sell the new packs. They, in 14 months, have banned more cards than the past 14 years. Because, like, they put out these cards that are, like, so clearly broken to sell the new packs. They just warp the meta. It's like 80%, usage rate. And then they have to, like, ban them. They just do that, like, every couple of months. Because it's just, like, and, yeah, it is wild. But
and like, how good are these cards? Like okay, so the black, what is it? Black Lotus? Is that like the?
Okay, that's a really old card that's only legal at like certain things. Like they
like, is it better than that or like comparable?
Not quite to that level, but just like it's for like standard is a format where it's the last few sets. Like it's kind of like think Destiny rotation, where it's the most recent sets.
Right.
So of those sets, the cards are always broken. But that's not the real story. Here's the real crazy thing. Here's where it goes wild, and there's like basically a revolt going on. So there's this thing called Secret Lair, and it's like a limited time drop where it's like a Secret Lair comes out. Usually it has a theme. For example, they partnered with the people who make Godzilla, and they had a Godzilla themed Secret Lair. So you could buy these land cards, forest, mountain, whatever, and they had Godzilla artwork. They were foiled out for collectors, right? They would take cards that already exist and you can get by other means, and then they would be new art, foiled. Again, this was a collector item. No one was upset because if you needed them for tournament play, you could go and get the old versions. You didn't need these fancy versions. Until recently, they did a Walking Dead partnership, and they made mechanically unique cards. So, not only is Rick from the Walking Dead officially a Magic the Gathering card, I'm dead serious. Rick is a freaking Magic card. So it's like dragons and demons, and then Rick.
Does that break your immersion?
Like that, totally, dude. It's like there's like a one of like the club that the guy used to beat, whatever, but it's next to a van. So it's like, oh, vans are part of the Magic the Gathering universe now. Not only that, but it makes sense. These are legal cards in Commander, which was one of the most popular formats. So and these are totally unique cards. So if you want these cards, you have like a week window to buy them in this special Secret Lair, and then they're gone. So think about that. It would literally be the same as Bungie selling the Izanagi's Burden in Eververse for a week straight. And this was if it didn't exist prior. Comes out with the Izanagi's Burden. We sell it for a week. That's it. If it becomes part of the meta, oh, it's too bad, dummy. Like, this is so bad for the game. This is so, because like you only have such limited time to get it. It's really expensive, and they don't even ship to all parts of the world. So like if you live in certain countries and you want these, you're just screwed. So if it becomes like a competitive staple card, you're like screwed. Like you're never gonna get
you have to get a reseller.
You have to pay like triple the price from.
That's crazy.
And then there's only going to be limited. Like it's literally, so the whole community is like freaking out. They wanted them to ban them like preemptively in Commander. They didn't. It's just like, dude, I just want to tell that story because we kind of get mad at Bungie for putting a little too many things in Eververse, but like that shows you like when they really got the corporate overlords saying double your revenue in 5 years, that's what happens. Like crap like that.
FOMO stuff like that drives me nuts. It absolutely.
Yeah.
We're actually going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the show when we talk about Genshin. But a lot of companies do these things where it's like it pushes new players away because they're like, oh, man, I wasn't there for this thing, and I'm at a huge disadvantage now. I'm not where everyone else is, and there's no hope of me getting there just by grinding my butt off. I literally missed out, and so it just pushes players away. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, it's
And
it's really
is this
bad.
happening? Is this happening in the online game as well as like just retail, like the cards?
Oh, both. Like they have
Really?
the online version, which is Magic Arena, and I mean, I logged on 2 days ago, and I got a bunch of refund wild cards because they did a huge banning. They banned like 3 different cards or whatever. So it's like, yeah, they do ban them. As that's part of the reason that they get banned so often because Arena is so big now that they kind of like need to move. But it's just like it's pretty wild that they're like having a limited time. This used to just be for collectors, and now they're suddenly like, no,
Meta.
legal in competitive format cards are going to be sold in this limited time little window. Like it'd be like if the Fortnite item store sold an actual gun. Like the only way to get the scar was like in the Fortnite daily store. Like
and then you destroy everyone in the lobby because you spawn in with a scar. Like it would kill the game.
So this is like essentially if you were one of the people that got Vex Mythoclast in like week 1 or 2.
Hey, right here.
Here's running around the crucible like
that. It would be like that if they sold Vex Mythoclast for real money and then didn't sell it after those first 2 weeks.
Right.
It's bad, dude.
I do have to say though, it's funny that we've listened to you talk about Magic the Gathering, a card game, for several minutes now. When literally last week you were getting on us, calling us weebs for playing Genshin.
You are,
and he's like the nerd lord all of a sudden. He's like, Magic. I've been playing since I was 12. Come on,
do you remember Guardian Con when they announced Gambit? Remember the Guardian Con it was the last one that was in Tampa, I believe, at that big convention center. They announced Gambit live on stream or on stage. They had the big Gambit event, whatever. At that same Guardian Con, this man. Is it this way for you guys? This guy.
I was like, what did I do?
This guy, I'm trying to like interact with him, like make plans for like dinner and stuff we were going to do that night. And he's over there in the corner, literally the corner of the convention center at a table with like 5 people just doing Magic the Gathering.
No.
And I'm like, bro, we're like going to go and do dinner. So he's like, I'll catch up later. And he's like the hunchback over there.
Why did we start the podcast with him? What are you doing?
Vicarious Visions was playing Magic with me now, and I was having a great time. And listen, jerks, I never said I wasn't a weeb, just that you two were weebs. I was accusatory, but I never said that counted me out. Like, what?
Okay, fair enough.
Because you don't have the mind capacity to handle the depth and the strategy of Magic the Gathering, the greatest card game on earth, until it gets tanked by these dumb, greedy decisions. Don't be making fun of me here.
Hey, you don't put that on me. I can play. I can read. I can read decently well.
Okay. Well, we mentioned Guardian Con might be a good transition way to talk about. We do have some new Destiny changes that they recently talked about that are coming down the line with the new content with Beyond Light. And some of those things are really going to change up the way that the end game for PvE, and honestly PvP, the way that your PvP builds are going to go. They changed the mod system and are now taking some stuff out of the table.
This comes when Beyond Light launches. Although, just to add on to what you said, TV, like this is going to affect if you do not buy Beyond Light. Like if you don't buy it at all, you are going to be extremely affected by these changes. Like even like free players.
Well, don't systemic changes like this, don't they impact everyone?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you don't buy Beyond Light,
you're still affected.
You are not immune to these changes.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
So like if you just got into D2 and you're a free-to-play player, like these are going to wildly change how you play.
Right.
So a lot of people missed half of these changes. A lot of people thought, just because they didn't really read the TWAB, they could just kind of see people's reactions. A lot of people thought that this was just like PvE stuff, like the taken barrier and armaments and fallen armaments and
which is a huge deal.
Which is a huge deal, but a lot of the PvP guys were like, that has nothing to do with me. And then a few days later, they're like, wait, what now? My enhanced mods are going away? My enhanced hand cannon targeting is going away? My enhanced sidearm dexterity, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily they're going away. In some ways, they're making it more accessible, right?
So for people who don't know, like all the enhanced mods, there will not be enhanced anything going, pretty much going forward. No more enhanced hand cannon reloader. Instead, it'll just be hand cannon reloader, right? And then Bungie says they're kind of bringing that essentially to the level of what previously was the enhanced version. The wording was a little, made it seem like it's almost there. Maybe it's a bit less, but it's being buffed. And then so there's only going to be one hand cannon loader, only going to be one of those dexterity type of mod. And to just simplify it, they did say pretty much all of them they're getting a drop in the resource requirement. So like whatever enhanced hand cannon reloader costs, the new just hand cannon reloader will be at least 1 energy cheaper.
Mhm.
So potentially that's like a huge buff in power. Like if they're as powerful as the enhanced versions and now they're like 1 cheaper. I mean, for sniper rifles, the enhanced sniper reloader is 6 energy, so you can't put 2
Yeah.
on. But if they
Yeah,
go
most of
down
the enhanced ones
to
are
1,
6.
now you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could
so
be No, you go, sorry.
I was just gonna say that plays really well with like if you're bringing the energy costs down a little bit, that plays really well with the first column, because the first column a lot of times you can only use like the +3 then, because you're looking at, you can't do recovery and mod, you can't do intellect mod, you can only do strength and discipline or mobility, right? Stuff like that. So that makes some more options available in that first column.
Right. I like that. You can get more
Tons more
stats. But the one thing I liked is they made a comment saying, if you want shotgun loader and hand cannon, now it's more viable. Because people were just stacking mods because
But
it was
just to
like
interrupt, it's not only viable, it's now possible, because another thing
true,
they
true.
removed the energy requirements, because like hand cannon stuff could only go on void armor. Now it's just going to be universal.
Right.
So that frees up, I mean, certainly inventory space. So much of my inventory
Yeah, that's
space is
true.
taken up by like stuff from different seasons, and then
Yeah.
that stuff also has to be the different elements.
Bro,
That's
I'm
right.
gonna get so many legendary shards because I'm just gonna get my highest stat rolled stuff
And
Yep.
delete those.
and delete most of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and also the way that they're doing like the seasonal mods, like there's just going to be like pretty much from Shadowkeep to now, or like the last year. Essentially, the new stuff is going to have like a combat mod, and you can put stuff from Season of the Worthy, like you can put Warmind stuff on, or you can put the Charge with Light stuff on. So now, like think about that. Just think about that for a sec. I had to have armor from around Season of Dawn to equip the Charge with Light stuff, and then 3 different elements of that, and 3 different elements of around the Warmind stuff. Like if I had one exactly splitting the middle, I could do both, but then I was missing out on some Charge with Light mods from this season. But
Right.
the point is, that's being narrowed down to 1. Like I just need 1 cracked stat roll piece of armor, and that can equip all that stuff. Like
That's a quality of life
nuts.
change that's
Oh,
like
actually,
Well, I don't
shouldn't say
think
that. Shouldn't say that. The exact. I'm just gonna interrupt myself. The Charge with Light mods and the Warmind mods, those are still gonna be elemental specific.
I was gonna say, well,
Yeah,
a lot of things
weapon
are, right?
stuff,
Like,
yeah.
I was gonna say, weapon stuff isn't, but then like impact induction, enhanced bomber, and all those stuff, like those are still tied to the element, though, aren't they?
Yeah, like the Charge with Light, like quick draw, I think it's called, or whatever. That's like a shotgun one, heavy handed. Yeah, that is still gonna be like arc.
which is fine. But also I think, even to elaborate on your point, the powerful friends and the radiant light, from what I heard, is it doesn't have to be on the exact same armor piece. If you have radiant light or powerful friends giving you 20 mobility or 20 strength, as long as you have an arc mod anywhere,
Yeah.
you get it, which is incredible, because then you can put it on like a set item or like your class item, and like put it somewhere there, or like I'm feeling that change a lot. Or what? Give me
Built
up.
onto that, you can also put it onto an exotic now, because they're making exotic armor pieces able to get those combat mods. So an exotic armor piece can put on a Warmind cell mod or a Charge
That'd
with
be
Light
cool.
mod.
That's a game changer. That's insane for PvE and PvP,
Literally,
really.
There's some insanely powerful like Charge with Light mods and Warmind cell mods that I've made and stuff, but like usually you don't use an exotic because you're missing out on a really good mod. And now the fact that you can like combine those together, like your power level just increased because of that, which
Yeah.
is good.
Between those changes and then from what we've seen of the class customization, I'm actually really excited to look at my Guardian and optimize them. I've been
Yeah.
playing Genshin a lot. I'm loving getting all the artifacts and
Yeah.
upgrades, and that's something I miss in Destiny. But seeing these changes, I feel like that's going to scratch that itch a lot.
Oh,
Maybe you can make a little guide on it, Kackis. Hey,
yeah.
guide.
It won't be a little guide.
Hey,
It'll stretch
yeah. It'll be 35 minutes, but at the end of it, you're gonna know every damn thing about mods.
You'll know every discount
You'll know
code for your
every
sponsors by the end of it. I guarantee you.
You're gonna be like, how is this video long? At the end, you're gonna ascend to a new level of knowledge. I'm telling you. But in the same vein, you mentioned earlier, they're getting rid of the armaments mods, of the barrier mods, Taken, Hive, Fallen, all that stuff is going away, which I made a video on this today. I think people are not grasping how big of a deal this is because, like, I mean, I took you guys through some Grandmasters and I was saying, like, put that stuff on. Like, it is required. So, literally, Grandmasters now are going to be so much easier. As soon as Beyond Light hits, you don't have those mods. Like, they're going to be legitimately, objectively harder.
Yeah, sorry, it is easier now. It's going to be harder.
It's way easier now. Like, you will not get anywhere near the same amount of heavy ammo. And even just a barrier mod, it gives you 20% damage resistance.
Yeah, it's big,
Maybe you're touch with a certain enemy type. That's gone too.
And if they don't fix that, I feel like that is going to be, like, it's already one bang city. Like, it's pretty unfun to die in one hit. And now it's like, now you get hit, if you get hit once. Like, there's no counterplay. Right? The counterplay is sit back with Izanagi or something like that, which is dumb. Yeah. I hate that.
Like it's so bad that you basically have to put all resist mods on and a barrier mod
and concussion dampener and you know.
So you essentially you're 20% squishier as soon as Beyond Light starts. And remember, like for the people watching who are like, I don't care about Grandmasters, it's if you're playing the new raid, if you're playing the new content, you're gonna be underleveled. It's essentially gonna be like a Grandmaster. So like and if you don't have these mods, you know, obviously, if you're still playing that content, you know what I mean? Like, it's essentially, you always have in the back of your mind, like, oh, if I got one of these mods, this content would be easier. Not anymore, gamer. Like,
I'm not too worried for myself because I was able to solo Flawless Prophecy without any of those mods equipped. I'm more worried about gamers like you, Kackis, who always have these things equipped and still haven't been able to solo Flawless that dungeon.
Yeah. Well,
now you got no chance, really.
Yeah, I could do a recovery for you. I could send you my fees and rates.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. TV. Did you also day one crown on PS? Oh no, I was the only one.
Okay.
Wait, did you really day one it though?
Yeah. Yes, dude. What do you mean? Did I day one it? 24-hour emblem. The only one I'm.
Oh, I know you got the emblem, but wasn't there like some scandal around that?
No, that was Garden. That was Garden.
What was that, Garden?
Yeah,
that's
Garden.
right. That's right. It was Garden.
The scandal was that Bungie couldn't even tweet any acknowledgement about it. That was a scandal, gamers.
All right, this is drama. This is drama. We got actual Destiny drama.
Like, I really do wonder, and I was going to ask what you guys think. Like, should Bungie increase the heavy drop rate in PvE to account for armaments going away? Remember, if they don't, a lot of builds that revolve around a good heavy, like Xenophage, they're going away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe they do that, or maybe they do raid banners at checkpoints and nightfalls too. I don't know.
Or give us ammo synth back or something.
I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms if they do ammo synth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is major ammo issues. I mean, I guess you could use a finder, maybe. Like I use grenade launcher finder, and you do get a lot of ammo. So, like, if you desperately need Xenophage, you could do machine gun finder or something.
But that's one of the things. Like,
still RNG.
Like, that's one of the things, though. You just mentioned that. It's like, why do you think that Mountaintop Anarchy is so good? Part of the reason is because you can slap on grenade launcher finders and scavengers, and they work for both.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's
double
really
entendre.
A huge part of the reason.
That's right.
And like machine guns, you don't get a special machine gun, right? If you did, it might change everything. But like. Right. I think it's kind of a bigger issue than people are thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a really big deal. These mods are going away.
At the end of the day, I just have to remember that all of these end game activities are thoroughly play tested on the build that they're going to release on ahead of time. So if there was a huge problem where they just were not able to have enough heavy ammo and were not able to complete the end game activities for Beyond Light, I feel like they would know by now and be able to address it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being too optimistic there. But I mean, there's like this ongoing thing in the Destiny community to say that Bungie doesn't playtest their own game, and the playtesters they do have are hot garbage. I can tell you that I've actually gone toe to toe with like even some of their PvP playtesters and stuff like that, and some of them are really good gamers. Like they do know the game.
Imagine getting clapped by a Bungie playtester. Come on, TV. And then you're trying to tease me. I'm kidding. No, you're right. You're right.
All right, now let's get into the drama.
Oh, drama.
I know. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, should we just skip ahead and go to the Genshin stuff?
No, we're here. Me and True Vanguard have something to say. About
I'm getting tired of this stuff, but like it keeps happening, so we might as well discuss it.
I just want to proceed this conversation by saying this. Our goal in this show is never to be a gossip channel, right? That's not what we're trying to do. It's not like, did you hear what, you know what I'm saying? That's not what we're doing. But if something happens in our community and it happens publicly and it's put out there, we want to be a part of the conversation and host a healthy conversation about those things. It's not that we want to jump on drama and make it like, we don't want to leverage it for viewers or anything like that, but we want to have conversations about what is relevant in our community. And sometimes these things that happen between community members, I mean, they do shake things up. It causes confusion among people. Some people are unable to formulate a good opinion about what happened because they don't want to sift through all the research. They just want someone to give them the information. And this is sort of a place where we're not going to try and pass judgment on anybody, but we'll put the information out there and let you make a call for yourself.
Yeah, it's funny. People are like, oh, all you guys talk about drama. It's one of 5 topics is just like the drama, and it's multiple things summarized in one thing. But also, can I say, every time I see people who are like, bro, I hate the drama. Like, can we grow up? Can we get past this silly drama? Every time drama comes out, those people are the first people to tweet. They have like 17 different tweets about how mature they are and how above drama they are. And they reply to 65 different threads 20,000 times over the next 3 days about how much they hate drama. Bro, you love drama. You love drama. You're just trying to act better than everyone else. Like, come on, dude. Like, if you don't like drama, leave it, bro. Don't make 17 tweets about how above drama you are. Facts, dude. That is facts.
All right. What's the drama this week? What's the drama this week?
Well, we got a couple of things that went down this week. I talk more about the Destiny community, and because the Destiny community is full of drama. I mean, they're always up to shenanigans, and you know,
tame compared to some other stuff.
It is, honestly. I've seen like, have you ever? Some of the CS:GO stuff from back in the day was rough. But anyways, moving on. So within the Destiny community, we've got things like this week we had Luminosity. You remember Luminosity, BSK, that whole falling out, that whole situation. Lumi came out this week with a bit of a defense, and so he omitted a lot of the things that really brought him down, and he really only addressed one thing directly, and that was his former relationship with a particular lady. And then he just basically denied it. Everything else, he just kind of swept under the rug and said, all that other stuff, it didn't happen. Like the Discord with the nudes and stuff didn't happen, right? And that's it.
And there's no proof that it doesn't exist. Like there's no way to prove it. So he's like,
right.
I'm telling you it didn't happen and you got to trust me.
That's exactly right. He didn't validate it or substantiate it with any evidence of any kind. He just said, it didn't happen. And that was it. He just moved on. So, but anyways,
like, oh my god, I can't believe people are coming after you. It's like he didn't even address 95% of the crap.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Like the Orange Justice stuff where they were like dossing people for BSK. Essentially, they were dossing people who versed those players. That was essentially.
They were reportedly aware of it. Yeah,
they were aware of it, and he didn't even mention. I did even mention that, or like swept under the rug or something. So it's like. It's like, dude, you're not even gonna like talk about some of the things that you went down for. That was huge. I mean, like the fact that they're like in tournaments and people are like dossing their opponents off, like that's kind of insane.
And like I said, I'm not here to say this is what I believe. He totally deserved to be canceled. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is if you're gonna come with a defense months later, right? If you're gonna come to your own defense months later,
shows up, baby.
Yeah, that's another thing. And I'm not saying this is my opinion. This is what people have said online. They're saying, hey, kind of suspicious that you're bringing your defense a couple weeks before a big big expansion. Like, that seems a little suspicious that you're waiting until now. And the thing is, his defense, like, I would rather see him come back and say, here's a huge list of all the reasons why these things were not true. They never happened, and they're really, he didn't even, like, as far as I know, have a big threat initially when all this stuff went down. He kind of just went dark and just like, and stepped back.
Yeah.
And so it seems a little strange to wait until now to have a defense, to post a defense for yourself that really just addresses one part of the reason why everything went down in the first place.
Also,
So
like, he could have taken a different angle where he comes out and he's like, you know what, this was wrong. I was immature, whatever. I'm coming back because this is what I love. This is my livelihood. But 50% of my earnings is going to a local women's shelter or is going to like a charity, is whatever.
sure.
I'm gonna tweet out every month what I earn. 50% goes to charity because of like my repentance or something. Like that would have probably been received a lot better.
And
the whole like
I
deny
agree.
everything and then cherry pick evidence and like ignore half the claims thing that multiple people have done. Like that's just not flying.
Yeah, I totally believe in restoration. I totally believe in owning up to your mistakes, putting it out there, dealing with the consequences, and saying I'm willing to change. And I'm totally willing to give people second chances. Because I mean, God knows I'm not perfect. God knows I've made so many bad choices in my life, and it sucks to deal with those consequences too. But I don't want someone's worst moments to define them for the rest of their lives. I would love to see people grow, develop, and change beyond those circumstances, beyond those decisions, and come out of it the other side a better person, and to be able to own those things. And that's what I would love to see from some of these folks.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is like, we're not trying to just cancel these people. Like this is not, we're like, you'll never come back. I would love to see them come back, but I would want to see them come back, that learning from that experience, apologetic, like making a change. Like, but we're not seeing that. It's like every time we have like this stuff happen and there's like comeback, it's like they come back because they're like, oh, it didn't happen. I deny everything. And all these people, it's a grand conspiracy. They're all lying to me. You know what I mean? Like they're all lying. All right, I'm back. And it's like, so you didn't learn anything from the experience. You're admitting zero wrongdoing. Like that's the messed up part. That's what we don't agree with. If they came back and they were genuinely sorry and they're like, you know what, I made a mistake, I'm going to improve going forward. I think myself and I think a lot of other people would be a lot more receptive to that kind of comeback.
Yeah. And the thing is like, it's not like you don't have to like give me receipts of like, here's all the therapy sessions I went to, but it's kind of like what you said. It's just like, nah, it's fake news. And it's almost, I don't know if it's narcissistic personality or like how you want to view it, but it always is just like, it couldn't have been me, like it's almost like they come back and they deny it or they show their evidence and their side of it. But even if that's the case, they show their evidence, but then it's like, well, that doesn't mean you didn't upset someone or doesn't mean you didn't hurt it. They never apologize. They're just like, this is what happened. And it's like, well, yeah, some of that you still look bad. Like some of that you still don't look like a great person. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's almost like they try to victimize, or not victimize, but like, put the blame there too. It's just such a weird situation. And now there's some more. Yep, go.
Can I say really quickly? It's also like, you always got to be, I'm sure there is you almost always like a little bit of a middle ground. No one can recall with 100% accuracy what happened, all this stuff. But if I just want to say, because I know we're going to get comments about it, if you're one of the people who is saying, how can you believe these accusations 100% on faith and not ask for any evidence? I'd ask the same thing about, the person doing the comeback. Like, it's so interesting that these people like, how can you believe these random accusations? And then someone posts their evidence and then that person's like, I 100% believe you. Like,
right.
You are 100% correct. They're all lying. It's like, bro, it's like, there's a middle ground. Like, stop being so like tunnel visioned on one thing.
Yeah.
And also, I was just gonna say, to piggyback off of that, there are sometimes accusations that are brought against people that are our peers, and the accusations that are being brought against them are from friends of ours. And so I've had that in the past too, where before anything ever comes out, I've been in closed door conversations with people who are confessing that this is what happened to me and this is who was perpetrating it, and it was a horrible experience for me. And it's somebody that I know, it's somebody that I respect, it's a friend of mine who would have no reason to lie to me. and then years later release information about it when they're brave enough to do so. So a lot of times people are like, how can you believe this? It's like, listen, there's things that you don't know. There's conversations you didn't hear. And there's people that I value and I trust way more than some perfect stranger.
Yes.
And so if a close friend of mine confesses in a moment, this is what happened to me, it was horrible, I will say to them every time, I will not, what I won't do is say, I don't believe you until you prove to me that this happened. That's not what a good friend does. As a friend of that person, I'm going to say, you have my full support. And when you're ready to talk about that, I will rally behind you. You know I will. And so there's sometimes there's just stuff you don't know about.
And I wanted to jump because, you know, kind of what you were saying is there is a little bit of two sides to the story. And with the G1 drama, if you guys don't know about
that's
the G1
the next
drama,
piece of drama.
Yeah, no, that's the next piece. But I feel like you get that a little bit too, because, you know, Hush puts his views of how everything played out, and he mentions Geekermon a bunch of times in the thing, and then he came out and he's just like, I didn't see any of that. Like I don't know if I interpreted different than you, but like I didn't get that vibe. You know?
Yeah.
And then there's the, you know, the people in G1 that are just like, you know, we understand if there's some differences, but like we don't know if we agree with this recollection of the story. You know, everyone has their own story, but you know, how you interpret that information and how you interpret that stuff, it depends on you.
I think the G1 drama is an interesting one because, like, we want to say we like, you know, pretty much everyone in G1. Like,
and
know,
Hush and
not
everyone,
like it's not like what Drewski is out there causing all this drama. Like, I seriously doubt that. Like,
yeah, we like them all.
It was Hush, who we also like. Hush had an issue with. This is the interesting part that I think a lot of people are just like weirdly talked about all this drama and G1's all bad, but like he clearly had an issue with someone in kind of upper management that like is unseen, that no one really even knows of, but these people like pull the strings. And it's an unfortunate thing of like I think what clearly happened is that they brought Hush in and he's so good on the creator side, and they didn't really use his suggestions and his ideas and his talent as much as clearly he thought they should and were going to, right? And you know, that type of stuff, it's not the end of the world, but clearly happened. He was trying to work for them and kind of, you know, didn't feel like he was getting the respect he deserved. And obviously his own channel, like he mentioned, like, I'm trying to do so much stuff for them. My own channel kind of suffered. I didn't really upload there very much. So you got to feel for him there, but it's kind of like, that's such a weird thing when you have these public teams and everyone on this team is a public figure that you can reach out to, that can talk to you. But then the person making a lot of the decisions is just like kind of unknown. Yeah. Like that's kind of the weird part. That's the interesting part.
And it's unfortunate. Sometimes these things happen where you have a professional disagreement where you're like, these are the things I want to bring to the table. And then your leader is like, it's not really what we're looking for from you, though. We're looking more for these things. And then this is why I have to say about the whole G1 stuff, I'm not sure that I even would want to label it drama as much as it is just a professional disagreement and two parties splitting different ways. And when Hush made his post and said, this is what happened, he was not accusatory. He was not derogatory. He did not demean G1 in any way, really, from what I read.
No, and then he just kind of said we're having difficulties.
Yeah, he said, this is what happened. This is why I left. And then G1 in turn then responded very favorably. Hush. They weren't like, get out of here. All he says is a lie. They didn't say that. They said, Hush, we wish you the best. Enjoyed having you here. We're sad to see you go. And they even made sure to post, and you know what? We'll learn from this. We'll take this experience, we'll learn from it, and see how we can better manage our relationships with our creators down the road. And I think that is, honestly, that's kind of like the postmark that you want to strive for in this industry when you have things that might be labeled drama. I think this was pretty amicable. I think both sides acted pretty responsibly, pretty professionally, all things considered.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's anything from that situation that I would even want to throw shade at. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I kind of want to throw some shade at just a little bit
just
a little bit is what I mentioned before of like, again, it's like some figure who's not Kenny, who's not a public figure, who's kind of like deciding, or I know what's best. I don't do content creation, but I know what best. And I don't want to like say that G1 is terribly managed or anything like that. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But the funny thing is like this struck a chord with me. And I know it probably did with you two as well, because how often do we get reached out for sponsorships that want like you to put like no personality into it. It's like
Yeah.
Mhm.
read off this script word for word, and you're like, this is not gonna fly. And I feel like that kind of happened with Hush. They bring on someone who's so creative like Hush, and then they don't listen to his ideas. They don't want his like contribution and personality. And it's like we kind of deal with that same thing with these big companies that like they want you for the numbers and the talent and uniqueness, but then they don't actually want you for that stuff. It's just kind of weird, right?
Well,
And we
and
all
if-
experience that.
If they're gonna
Go
trust
ahead,
anyone,
Mike.
Hush probably has more viral videos in the Destiny community than anyone else. Like if you look at 1 million or like 600 or 700K videos, like he has a lot of bangers out there because he
Yeah.
is super creative. So it's like if you're gonna trust someone to make good content that people are gonna watch, like
Listen to him.
that's the guy you trust. Like that's why
Yeah.
you bring him on. And so
I'm gonna
yeah,
play devil's
to-
advocate a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish your
Oh.
statement.
So
Finish your statement.
my thought is like he felt like he couldn't be that creative, and like I don't know the details. Like I really don't know what that is, right? But if he's like I can't even be creative, like I can't even do what I'm trying to do, it just seems a little weird. Like if you're wrangling him in that bad, like I can't imagine how she's just like spouting out terrible idea after terrible idea. But
Right.
you know, it just seems like such a not odd, but it just I guess surprising. The reason he's leaving and the reason he was there, and it's a weird mesh.
Sure, and I understand that. But at the same time, to play devil's advocate a little bit here, whenever a sponsor approaches me and they say, "This is what we want you to do," and I respond with, "Here's what I want to do," if they say, "No, this is what we want you to do," usually I have the power. Well, usually every time I have the power to say, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." And I have. There have been multiple
Yeah, no,
times
it's
where I
fine.
have backed out of relationships where I say, "You know what? That's really not what I'm looking for. I apologize, but I just don't want to put you in front of my audience without me being a part of it." Like my audience comes for me; they don't come for you. So if I can't put my spin on it, I'm not going to be there, and so I back out. And there's not. I don't see that anything wrong with that. Even if I tell that company, "Listen, if you do it my way, I'm going to get you triple the views you would get if I were to do it your way, and
Mhm.
better engagement, better results." But at the end of the day, it's their call. If they say, "You know what, we understand that you would get triple the views if you do that, but that's just not our vision, and that's not the kind of content we're aiming for," they have every right to do so. It's their company, it's their approach. And the same thing with G1. If G1 has a vision for what they're after out of their content creators, and Hush says that's not really what I want to do as a content creator, this is a perfect scenario where one party says this isn't a good fit, and the other party says we understand. Best of luck to you. I don't see anything wrong with that personally.
Fair, and I also feel like G1 historically has been pretty damn good on the
They have. Yeah.
the management of their team and the creators. Right, there was drama in the past, so it's unfortunate because G1 has been hit a few times now, but I feel like they've responded pretty damn well each time. When there was the Sonic and the Vince or Nafaru, like there was some drama about some stuff they had said. They got kicked out like the day after, or like 2 days after. And there was the panda cheating, and they stayed beside, and they're like, I mean, we don't think there's any cheating going on, but if there is, like, we will respond, right? And so I feel like even though everyone's kind of throwing these accusations out, some are true, some aren't, I feel like they've had a pretty level head, and I have to say that, I think they're doing the right thing in a lot of these cases, and
Yeah.
maybe there's a conflict of or there's a disagreement in creative process, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're like vicious, malicious, bullies or anything like that. Like bullying people out of the way.
Yeah. It's just like when you have everything that's, all these creators and everything's public, everything's just going to be public, and you know what I mean? But let's move on to the next topic here, gamers. This is right up your alley, dude. This is right up Mtashed's alley. Genshin Impact players are not happy right now. And I'm just gonna start off kind of saying my part of it was like I was kind of convinced to start playing Genshin because of you, Tash, wherever you are.
Yep.
And like I can't. Like any hope I have of covering this game, it's like Borderlands 3 all over again. I missed the boat. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that. Well, that was a whole other kind of worms. But it's just too late because the way Genshin Impact is structured, I cannot catch up. Like, I really can't. I have a limited amount of daily experience I can earn. And then once that's gone, the process of me gaining any sort of advantage grinds to a halt. It's just like literally going and getting these 10 experience chests everywhere and stuff. And so like I feel like I'm just I'm so far behind I can never catch up. Now, if I was just playing casually, that's one thing. But in terms of content creation, like I'm screwed. Like I missed the boat. C'est la vie. What are you gonna do about it?
Your
But like
viewership is going to
there's
be
no
ahead of
way.
you. Yeah,
There's
the
no
people who
way.
would view your videos are further ahead in the game than you are. And no amount of grinding, no amount of like grind sessions where you can say, "Listen, I'm just going to take 24 hours to catch up." You just can't do it.
Yeah.
And this was my one main concern as much as, and I will say this, I got hooked by this game. I loved this game. And I thoroughly enjoyed playing it. I dumped a lot of hours. I dumped money into it. And I don't regret any minute that I invested because it was fun. But my one concern going into it was it's a mobile game, and mobile games have some certain drawbacks, and that is that most of them use this energy system. They label it different ways, but you get to a point in the game where you literally can only play so much before you hit a wall, and they say that's it for the day. You used up all of this, whatever that currency is, whether it's energy or resin, whatever you want to call it. You used it up, and so everything you do beyond this point is kind of meaningless, to be honest.
Right. But you play Raid a lot, and they have an energy system. But
Yeah, I do.
compared to Genshin is so stingy. You can play like literally if you're got a good DPS team, you're jumping in. I can farm for 15 minutes, maybe like 10 if I'm really fast. Activities that can actually give me meaningful progress each day.
Mhm.
And then I can spend some of my gems, which technically you could buy. And there are some items in game that you get at a very limited quantity. But, I'm at that wall. And, it's one of these games where if you look at Genshin Impact, it was one of the games where I wanted to play it so bad. I've never been so addicted so quickly, but it's turned me off so quickly as well. Early on, I was like, I want to play this 24/7. I love it. It's amazing. And then as soon as you hit this wall where literally the only thing you can do is run around and find some chests, and then eventually you run out of chests, it's a daily timer. The only progress I can make is log in, do my daily missions, use my resin up, and log out. I can get some, a little progress here and there, but it feels weird. I want to play for 4 or 5 hours, and I can't.
Right.
I can't
And here's
meaningfully
the thing.
play.
You mentioned Raid Shadow Legends. I still get people in my comment section are like, "You don't play it. You're lying." I do. I play it every week. I actually love that game. But here's the thing about Raid is that if I don't play Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then Thursday night when I decide to play, my energy has been stockpiling for days. And so I can play 3 days worth of that currency in one sitting. And that's great because I don't play it every day. Normally I'm playing it on the weekends because I'm sitting, with Steph, my wife, on the couch. We're watching shows and I pull it up and I can go through some of my activities and farm some stuff while we're doing it. And I've been stockpiling energy for the whole week, and I can play for several hours, and that's great. But with Genshin, it doesn't carry over.
Yeah, like that's such a good point, dude. Like, I'm just sitting here getting flamed by in the chat. I'm just kidding. No, one guy was toxic, dude. Can I say like, so many people
don't feed it.
I'm not trying to feed it. If one person's being toxic, don't say the chat's being toxic. It's one absolute loser. Dude. Just ignore him. Move on. That dude doesn't have a Versace robe. Let me tell you, baby. And he's jealous. And he's sweating. And he ain't got no girlfriend.
And he's never felt the warm embrace of a woman's
Cheetos
touch.
into his mouth. Don't listen to that guy. Chat's not being toxic. One guy is being toxic. And that's a good segue to Genshin because one thing is holding that game back, and that is like these. It's interesting. One of the reasons Genshin is so popular is because it's on mobile, right? Like mobile, people always crap on mobile gaming, but like, holy crap, it is such a huge part of the market. Like, geez, it just completely takes over the market. But when you have that, it also has these like mobile game features and like, daily resin, log on every day, right? It's like a very mobile game thing. You got to log on every day. And if you don't, you literally waste a day. Like you said, it doesn't like build up for like a week. You have a week's worth. You literally just lose everything. So it's just kind of, it's a positive in the fact that so many more players are accessing this game through mobile. It's a negative in that, I mean, not only is a resin thing, it also is built on a pretty crap loot box system.
Yeah.
Like
The gacha
dude,
system is tough. Like it.
Yeah, I
you-
mean,
you
like,
want all these
honestly,
characters, but there's no guaranteed way to get them. And
Mhm.
I
and
mean, for me,
if I could do
well,
a quest line to get D-Luke, bro, I'll do a 40-hour quest
Yeah.
line.
for me,
know,
it-
I'll
it-
put
it's
the
getting
hours in.
really boring. Like, because it's like I got some good characters. I got Venti, I got Razor, I think, and they're slapping. But it's like I kind of want to use new characters, but I can't justify it unless I get like another 5-star, and then if I do get a decent 4-star, like I got the Explorer guy with the fire guy with the goggles.
Oh, Bennett,
or
yeah.
goggles.
yeah.
Yeah, Bennett. And it's like, okay, this guy's kind of cool, but like, I don't want to level him up because I know I'm wasting resources. I should be focusing on my 5-stars and my good 4-stars. It just feels like it's very constrictive. And the sad thing is that Genshin is such a fun game and it's such a beautiful open world. And so you just want to play, but then the game's like, no, you
Yeah.
play for a bit.
Part
and
of
we'll see
that-
it tomorrow.
Part of that you and I disagree on. I would defer from you a little bit there, where I have a pretty cracked main team, but at the same time, I'm at the point in the game now where I'm oscillating between different dungeons and different world bosses, and so I have to have a team that applies to those specific scenarios. And so I'm swapping builds out, and some of my builds I'm using, and this is the thing, they're actually a lot of fun for me because I'm like, oh yes, I get to go play this domain, and I know that I'm going to use Sucrose. Now Sucrose is not S tier, Sucrose isn't even A tier, she's like B tier, but I think she's really cool. I like her aesthetic, I like her ability, she's just kind of fun to play. And so I know that I get to go farm this domain real quick and bust out a character I don't typically use. And that's kind of fun for me. I really like that. That's kind of the same way I play other games too.
Let me jump in quick. Let me
Hold
jump
on,
in.
hold on. Can I jump in really?
I'm jumping in faster. I'm jumping in
I
faster.
gotta jump in. I think you're 100% right, TV, but I think, and probably what Tash is going to say is like, you think that's a good idea and you're having fun. I'm not saying you're not, but then you open a 5-star and then you have no resources because you've been doing that. And then you're like, frick,
Well,
dude.
yeah, and so like I'm getting to the point because I'm at AR 40 tomorrow. I'm hit it. Like it's a big event because I'm actually gonna start being able to grind. I'm gonna use all my resin. So like tomorrow's a big event. But all of this time before, I'm out of resources. I've saved some resources so that when I hit AR 40, I can level up 2 characters. I've done the math on it. And that's it. And so it's like if I do get another cool character, it's like I've got this cool thing, but I don't have the resin to do the activities so that I can even level them up. So it's like partway through, you can kind of test people out, and I did. I've got a few people at 40, a few people at 50. Then you start getting up in the world ranks, and that makes those people weaker. And then I've got like a whole cast of characters that don't do anything, and a whole cast of characters where I can't even touch them. It's like they're sitting there. I love them. I want to play with them, but I literally can't. And it's so rough. And someone else said it. It's an open world game, and there's a bunch of pieces of candy, but eventually, it's an open world with no candy. There's nothing. It is a barren wasteland. I have opened all the chests. I go from area to area. I'm doing my bosses. There's no chests. There's like a couple enemy spawns. When I first started playing the game, I was overwhelmed, and I felt like I kept getting distracted by lots of cool stuff. And now I'm like, is that a chest over there? Like I see it in the distance. I fly over. It's a barrel. All of my, hopes and dreams come crushing down.
Yeah.
And it's
But
like,
at least you learned how to optimize your movement to get to that barrel as quickly as
Fair.
possible.
and I know
See,
there's
man,
more
and
regions.
you had me believe in you. You had me believe in you. I was dashing everywhere, and then you're like, but wait, new tip.
I know.
It's not just
I know.
dashing.
Now
watched
you
that
can
Deathmatch
jump.
Video.
Now you
Oh
can
my
jump. I know. It's just tough because like, it's almost like it's the mobile game and that's a big issue, but also it's a new game and they don't have all the regions, and it's like if you're a person that's starting this game in 6 months, it might be even more cracked than it is now. Like it might be even
That's
better.
right.
Yeah.
And maybe
But then
the audience
are
grows.
they still gonna have that like system, even if they fix some of the problem? Even if they fix some of the problems, it's one of those things where it's like if you start later down the line, are you gonna feel like you're always kind of behind your friends? You can never catch up just because of all these limitations. But like those limitations are how they made like $100 million like the first week it was in North America. Because like you're priced into buying, you're priced into spending real money. Like there is a model behind this, and it is a very lucrative model. And I'm sure Tash is over here spending thousands of dollars making videos out of it.
He's making more than that, though.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of us, though, like it's just one of those things where those limitations. Like you just want to like game and get lost in the world, and then it just kind of you, like you said, you hit a wall, and you're like, that's it for today. Like see you tomorrow, I guess.
And I'll come back, but you know, if I take a couple days off because I'm not as interested, my resin isn't stacking. So you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be playing it daily, and I'm gonna make sure I do that because when the new content drops, I want to be able to cover it. But like, I it just kind of feels like one of those games where there's not enough for me to keep playing. But if I drop it, then I get so far behind. You know, it's like it's weird. I
Yeah,
want to play the
I get
game,
that.
don't have a lot of stuff to do. But
Now I want to
Oh, well.
comment 2 comments before I move on and segue to the next topic. 2
Sure.
comments. One of them I see in chat, people are like, "Well, imagine spending that much money, $1,500 on a Weeb game," stuff like that.
Dude,
At
honestly,
the end of the day,
imagine that. That's
at
so lame. I'm just kidding.
at the end of the day, here's the thing: people are free to enjoy whatever activities they enjoy. I enjoyed Genshin quite a bit, and I spent money on it. Am I ashamed of that? Absolutely not. People are allowed to
Should be.
enjoy whatever activities they like, and whatever they like. If they want to invest in that, who's to say that's a win or a loss? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Spend money on whatever makes you happy. If that's Genshin, great. If it's Raid Shadow Legends, great. Whatever. People will throw shade at these games all day, but there is a large group of people out there who really enjoy this model and are more than happy to throw some disposable income in a game that brings a smile to their face. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I would never throw shade at somebody, regardless of how much money they spent on a game like this. And also I will say this clearly. I know the focus of this topic has been more negative, but clearly Genshin Impact has a lot going for it. This game it surprised the heck out of me. The scope of it, the characters, the abilities, the gameplay loop. It was fun. It was engaging. It was exciting. The characters were great. Most of them were acted pretty well. Some of them not so much, but most of them were pretty. Like even Amber, not really a great character in the game, but she's really cool. Like her character is really expressive and exciting. She's really fun, and that's
hot.
cool. I think overall, my prediction is that Genshin is going to learn from this. Genshin will develop and change, and Genshin will still be a really fan-freaking-tastic game. Yep. And it's okay for people to give negative feedback to see a game grow.
Yeah.
But we're going to use that as a launching platform to talk about other games.
Do you guys want to know why TV has such an intelligent and thought out speech about how you shouldn't shame someone for spending money in a video game? It's because he had to say that same speech to his wife when he had to explain why he couldn't go on that vacation anymore because he had to get that Luke, baby.
Bro, I'm on that
sold
Facebook
my
money.
car.
I can go on any vacation I want, bro.
True, dude. That Facebook money. Oh my god.
I sold my.
I can retire right now, but
oh my! Am I the only one out here still grinding my butt off? You guys are out here just. Oh my!
I mean,
god.
have you seen my
Listen,
views, bro? Like,
Yeah,
this is
I
the
know,
12
dude.
year. This is a
Yo,
12 year.
I need to get to 1 million before Tash. Come on, guys, please. I need this. This is the one thing I need in my life.
No, I need Mike to get there first because I got a lot of money riding on this. But anyways,
Whoa!
let's transition. So, gaming companies. We're talking about gaming companies and their approaches to their game. And there are some other game developers out there that are taking a very, very different approach. Some game developers out there are investing their capital into content creators and influencers in some really creative ways. And so today you've got this news where Rogue Company, which I didn't cover it, but there's another certain individual in this podcast who may have been paid to cover it in previous content of their own. But the game is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty cool. And so instead of getting swallowed up in other games that people are invested in, because here's the thing, influencers really, really help drive the market. And players will follow. Players will follow their favorite influencers. They will follow their favorite influencers. Period. That happens. Developers are picking up on this. So what do? Well, they offer a lot of money to a content creator and they say, listen, Dr. Disrespect, we believe that we have a very good product, but we are worried that people are not going to come over here because they're busy playing the games that their favorite influencers are playing. What we want to do is we want to take some of our capital and we want to throw it at you. We want to make you a playable character in our game. We want people to be able to say, look at me, I'm Dr. Disrespect, running around a brand new map. And we want that brand new map to be the Champions Club Arena, the thing that has been a part of your stream for so long. We want to bring it to life. We want to put it in a video game and let people run around and shoot each other in your arena. And Doc says, you know what?
Sick.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I'm in. And so, go ahead.
I was gonna say this whole thing is so crazy because this year, like a few months ago, Doc was essentially deplatformed. It was super nebulous. Twitch kicked him out. Like one of their top creators banned him outright. We still don't know why. Right. And there was all these rumors circulating. Like, is it super serious? Is this like a criminal charge? Right. Is it over the Shungite? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? But then now we have a triple A, double A or triple A game, Rogue Company, partnering with him. So that has a bunch of questions. Like, did Rogue Company just not care? And they're like, Doc's huge, who cares? Or maybe are the rumors that like Doc got kicked off because Twitch didn't want to keep like paying him once Mixer went down? Like they were paying for him to stay, and then once Mixer went down, they're like, we want to end the contract, and he got mad, and they're like, you're banned. That's kind of like,
oh god, here it goes.
that's the theory. That's the theory, right? That Doc didn't do anything wrong other than just like Twitch didn't want to waste millions of dollars on Doc to keep him around, right? And more importantly, they didn't want to ruin their image because if Doc left, it would be like a mass exodus to Mixer, right? They didn't want to lose all their guys. So, again, like a proper developer, a proper game, partnering with him lends credence to the fact that like maybe that was it. Because if it was a serious thing and like insiders knew about it, you wouldn't have like Rogue Company sponsoring him so much.
Yeah,
you're not going to get into bed with him if you don't have. You'd vet that somehow, right? Like you must have some.
Or maybe they just don't care. Like they're like YOLO, dude, and like it's so weird. Like what if it comes out and then does Rogue Company screwed too? Like who knows? It's just such an interesting storyline that like she gets deplatformed. No one knows why. He kind of comes back, and now he's getting like full out blown sponsorship. And again, Rogue Company is like a real game. Like this is not like AFK Arena. This is like a big game.
Yeah. Hey. Markiplier's in AFK Arena. Don't you throw shade at that?
Frodo Baggins is in the new AFK Arena ad. Did you see that? Frodo's ripping it up on AFK Arena. He's like, who cares about the ring? Who cares about Mordor? I'm getting my levels, bro.
How much money are they giving Frodo Baggins to sponsor AFK Arena? That's
they don't want to give me a penny. Like, what are you guys doing?
I know, dude.
I'll sell out to anyone, and they won't even offer me anything.
Tash will sell. Yeah, you just have to like whisper. Yeah, a drop of a hat. Tash will sell out.
But
this is. Go ahead.
Well, it's interesting because like this is one of the bigger things we've seen with a creator. But even with Cyberpunk, we were talking earlier. Apparently, Eric's is in it, and
Negaworks
is in it. They're like in the ads in the background, like advertising products in the world, and they're just like placed in there. And then there's another girl. I can't remember her Twitter. But she's one of like the characters, and she just released it, and she's been a streamer for a long time. And so it's like, maybe they're not streaming full time, but they've been in the industry and they're using some creator's likeness or literally just putting them in the game.
It's so cool.
It's cool. And with the sponsorships a lot of these companies are doing, I mean, we saw it with Apex Legends, right? They dropped millions on getting Shroud, Ninja, Lupo, all of them playing it. And, the value of content creators is there. And I think a lot of people are underpaid in the content creator industry for those sponsorships. Like, literally making or breaking games. A AAA title can release. A AAA title can release. And if Call of Duty was like, hey, you play the Call of Duty beta this weekend instead, we'll give you $50,000. They're going to play that. And the other game's going to get zero traction. I'm telling you, I'm wondering if one day companies start doing that. They look at the release dates of these other games and they go, nope, I'm going to start paying people. Even though we don't have new content, you play the game during this week and not that game. I mean, that's a little sus, but the power is there. The power is there.
It is. And we actually seen this isn't anything new. We've seen developers give favor to their loyal creators time and time and time again.
I mean... Here's a question. I got a question for you. Godfall comes to you and says, we'll give you $20,000 to play Godfall and not Destiny 2.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to happen. You know why I know that's not going to happen? Because the company in the driver's seat is the same company that said, listen, we have 3 content creators that we love and we believe in.
The
We're
rest
gonna
of you
invite
can-
we're
rest
gonna
of you
invite a
can
bunch
fuck-
of people to come to this reveal event, and we're gonna give them, a little bit of gameplay to show off on their channels. But after that, our 3
Get lost,
favorites,
loser.
they get everything. They will make every guide, every new gun, every new build, every new character, everything will be under the umbrella of these few select that we deem the chosen ones. And if you don't know what I'm talking about Borderlands 3.
Yeah,
And
well, it's gonna be interesting if they do that again, or if they cast a wider net, or
I think they should.
They probably are going to
definitely
learn
should.
because Borderlands
They definitely
died
should,
after.
but like obviously,
frickin-
if you look at their marketing again, you said they tweeted out some sort of scroll with no explanation
The
again.
scroll of Ethereum.
Scroll of
Literally every response to that was, I
Hey,
don't have
listen,
a
you know what?
freaking clue what that is.
I actually think though that we're being mean to Godfall because they're doing the best they can with the leftover money that Randy didn't steal. So
Fair. Fair.
well,
one
I'm
hurts.
not getting that Godfall sponsorship because of that, baby.
Bro,
So,
I've been
hey,
blacklisted forever, so I don't even.
Hey, if you're proud of us getting ourselves blacklisted for a meme and a joke, hey, become a member. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of content you're here for, baby.
Yeah, come on, guys.
I don't want to only
button.
throw shade at
Yeah, we
Gearbox.
need-
I will say
We
that
need the
LA
money because
event.
we're throwing it all away getting blacklisted. Let's be
I
honest.
will say that LA event was super cool, and
It was awesome.
I still have stuff up on my wall. I got the Borderlands 3 plaque is right up there in the corner with my
Mine's right
badge
here.
from that event. That event was so cool. And I will say that. I mean, I don't want to just throw shade at Gearbox.
But then they
didn't treat
they came out the same time as Destiny. And it's like, stop. Like, just stop. You're not going to compete with Destiny. Stop. Move it to a different month, and then we're golden.
Yeah, but also released at the same time, but it was a little bit earlier or something like that, right? Because Destiny got delayed.
It's like a week. It was like a
Right?
week.
But it's like, okay, day one, I log in, I start exploring the world to make some guides. There was like, I mean, nothing against Jolts. I'd do the exact same thing if I had the footage. Jolts was releasing a video every hour, on the hour. Exotic review, or legendary review, legendary. And I was like, oh my God. And I looked at his channel. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Every hour. Video.
There's no point in me even trying at that point.
And then a day later, he starts being like level 70 Amara, level 70. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? How are you making all these guides? It's impossible. Well, when you have the game a month early, and you can make these videos. And so, companies need to realize that if you also make it like, not predatory, but if you make it a not fair competition, you might just get people to say, I'm not covering that. I can't compete. And then you lose that free marketing. You didn't even have to pay me. I was just gonna make videos anyways.
Yeah.
And then and I'm not saying that we're all huge content creators. I mean, Mtashed is. But then what happens is you have months later, you have people of influence now saying, I had a bad experience. And I mean, it's the same thing with, I have people who undervalued me early in my journey that I won't work with again. I've said it time and time again on stream.
Or people that just straight up lied about how much they're going to pay you.
Yes, I've had companies back out of deals. I've had companies say, no, we don't want to pay you, but we'll give you a commission code that, it's going to give you like a 2% kickback on sales. But we want you to have our logo on your intro. We want you to have our logo on your live stream. We want you to have, 2 sponsored or 2 videos specifically where we plug our products every quarter. And it's like the list of demands are so high that I felt so undervalued by those companies that I will never work with them again. And there are still, to this day, I have people who are like, what do you think of this product? It literally happened this week where I had someone in chat say, what do you think of this product? And I said, I had bad experiences with that company. I will never buy from them, and I cannot in good faith endorse that product because of it.
Yeah, and unless they're like sussing with Twitch under in the comments and promoting it that way, like,
oh my God.
Yeah. So I think the interesting is like with the doc thing, it shows like you can use creators very positively and get a bunch of attention, especially with Doc. Like potentially that's why they did it, is because he still has so much controversy with his name. Something happens with him and we're talking about it, and all these people are talking about it because it's Doc and everyone's still wondering what's going on there. But you can also again do it negatively in the fact that you pick your 3 favorite golden geese and then you just let them just do everything and you kind of screw over other people. Yeah. Or you can misjudge. Like it's just really interesting, like brave new, like we're in a kind of different era here with how this is working here.
Truly.
But I think it's time. And if you're watching, don't go anywhere. We're not ending.
Yeah, we're getting into the
We're getting into some.
we're getting
juicy
into some
stuff.
drinks with the TV. I'm going to get.
Hey,
But
I got a
before
lot left. Hey!
But before we
Hey.
do, we're at almost peak viewership, so we better do some peak advertising for our sponsor, Advanced GG. Now, there was 4 flavors, 3 restocked flavors: the G1 gummy, the Mr. Fruit Cherry Limeade, the Mtashed Mango Splash right there, and
Oh, he's got it.
a mystery flavor. There's a new grape flavor right now at advanced.gg. If you use code RGH, you get 10% off. There's a new flavor, some returning favorites, and my God, is this product not available? So, if you guys are right, that's how much energy I have. So you guys want an energy drink? Advanced.gg. Use code RGH. Check out the flavors. Now, what are we doing? We are about to enter into members only mode. Okay, so if you are a member of the channel, you're going to be able to chat. You're going to be able to ask us some questions. You're going to be able to vibe with us. If not, you just stay here and you enjoy the love. But I would recommend you guys click the join button and you become a member of RGH. You are going to help keep this podcast running because you know that Kackis, he needs another Gucci robe because his other one, that's only one color. He needs another color.
Well,
So-
he needs a brake job on his Lamborghini, and that's all fair.
Yeah, this is directly funding my next Versace purchase. So, you know what I mean? Dude, I think that's a pretty good cause, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Thank you
totally.
definitely to absolutely everybody in chat. You know, all of us are actively reading chat during this entire show, so we do appreciate all the engagement and the
Even if it almost
conversations
made
that
me
you guys
cry.
are having.
Okay.
Well, you're soft.
Just-
But and also thank you so much to anybody who decided to become members here on the channel. We do genuinely appreciate you. We are excited every time we go into the after show to be able to engage you guys directly. So we're looking forward to that.
Right.
All right. And then, yeah, so basically go ahead, ask away if you got any questions. If you have any topics that you saw this week that you're like, bro, like, what is going on, dude? You know what I mean?
Actually, really quickly, let's just read out the some of the donations. We had
Go for it.
Anthony Wasserman with a new membership, Forbidden Empire with a $4, Ivan Reddick with a new membership, Christopher Sharp with a 20 bomb, and then another 20 bomb. Christopher funding the Lambo himself for Kackis. Thank you so much.
Hey, Chris, I'll
Appreciate it.
keep going, baby.
Let's go. We can get one for TV and me too. Thank you guys
dude.
so much for the support. Let's talk about the iPhone 12.
Yeah, what was that?
sure.
I kind of saw. I saw a little bit of that. They're like, it's come. It's not. The iPhone 12 is not even coming with earphones, right? And it's not even coming with like a power adapter. Is that right?
Knowing Apple, I don't know. I heard that they're looking at 5G, but people don't know how big 5G is going to be still. They're like, wow, like, is that a big upgrade? Like, I don't know. I didn't watch the Apple thing. I saw that the stock did go up quite a bit. You know, it was at 106 a week or two ago, and now it's like 120 something. So,
Well, yeah, stock went
I
up
don't
because
know.
people are gonna have to like. Apple basically is at the point where they're gonna sell their phones without the damn batteries, dude. You gotta like buy a battery to make the stupid thing work. Like it's pretty crazy, man.
it's eco-friendly. Okay, come on,
Okay,
that's bull.
yeah, go on, yeah.
Did anyone see the Astacross leak for Hawkmoon? It's probably
I
fake,
did.
but looked cool. I didn't watch it.
I'm not covering it. I saw that a long time ago. I respect the developers, and I don't want to like. If there is an internal leak, it's like I rather have people actually surprised by it. If it's on the database, that's gonna be one thing. But yeah, I know about it. I got integrity. I'm not covering it.
Okay, fair.
I just like honestly like I'm kind of it just ruins the fun. Bungie probably has some super sweet reveal that people worked hard for. I'm not gonna let some like shit eating tester like ruin that surprise. I'm just gonna not cover it, and hey, I'll let people actually experience it in a good way.
That's fair. That's fair. And now afterwards, he actually posted like oof or something, and or FFS because apparently it was confirmed as fake right after he posted the video, and he's like, ooh,
Yeah,
shit. But it's like,
honestly-
well, if that's the case, like then it's like if it is going to get
Whatever.
confirmed fake, or like if it's like one of those database things, it's like, yeah. Well,
Delete the
as you
video.
said, Yeah.
delete the video.
Yeah, I want to be seen as a valid source of information, and other people had. And this isn't me throwing shade at anybody. Some people, I understand more than anyone else. It's hard to have fresh content every day. I get
Yeah,
that.
facts.
I totally get that, and it is not my choice to say what I want my someone else's channel to be about. For me personally, with my channel, I'm not going to cover leaks and stuff like that because I want to know that if I put information out there, that I can stand behind it. A year from now, a week from now, even. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
like again. If he wants to cover it, like that's fine, and we're not necessarily throwing too much shade. Like you said, you gotta make a video, and sometimes that's obviously hot off the press, an interesting topic. But for me, I've covered some leaks and stuff, so I don't want to be too hypocritical. But it's something like that. I feel bad that it wasn't unveiled properly. Again, it's a question of whether or not it's real. I don't want to be putting out false information. I mean, look what happened with Arms Week. God knows how many Arms Week videos there are from people just spamming the database, right? But that never came to fruition. And so you have
yeah,
hundreds of videos that are all fraudulent. And the people that are getting their information, like they might not see the video where you confirm that that's not happening. They're probably still waiting for that event. They're still so you know what? I'll just wait for the official information. I'll get less views, I'm sure, but hopefully that'll result in more people coming back because they kind of know who to trust. That's what I hope.
that's exactly right. That's
I
exactly
hope,
right.
will it happen? Well, probably not, but you know what I'm saying?
Crash was taking a new elite gamer joining the RGH. Thank you so much. And then Centrix as well, a new member. Thank you so much. We're actually, I think we're like 25, 30 members now. I don't know
Thanks,
exactly,
guys. Appreciate that.
but we are unlocking some new emotes. So we actually made a post on the community tab. I don't know if you guys saw.
We have new badges too. That if we weren't so lazy,
Yeah, we're working.
basically-
We got the new sub badges being made, or are made, I should say. And then
Yeah,
in the
they're made.
community
They'll be here
tab,
next week,
we
yeah.
asked about emotes. So any emotes that you think would fit for the channel, maybe like a drama emote or something like that.
Juicy.
Juicy,
Dude,
like
if
anything.
we make that, we're gonna get all the anti-drama people who freaking love drama all over us. Like, how dare they talk about
Screw
drama?
'em.
I talk about drama literally every time there's a little scent
Screw
of drama,
'em.
but these guys can't talk about drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
hey, if it happens to the public eye, if it's public information,
Yeah.
it's fair game to
Don't
just
put it
have
on
a
Twitter if you don't want
conversation
people to
about.
talk about it, okay?
Yeah.
Someone asked a good question that
Go ahead.
said, like, one of our brand new members asked a question, Ivan Riddick, saying, like, with Twitch constantly screwing up, and God knows, like, pretty much every podcast has a section on what Twitch did that week to screw up. Do you see more people abandoning the platform? And I think we've talked about this a little bit, where it's like we genuinely see a lot of people starting on YouTube, honestly,
And it's
Yeah.
doing
and
well.
potentially Facebook too.
Yeah, they're doing well. And Fwiz from YouTube, when I got banned, he kind of made this comment where he's just like, oh, you want to bring your content to the biggest gaming platform? And then they just released a thing recently where it showed how much people were searching Among Us on YouTube. 4 billion searches, it is such a huge platform. And so, with the algorithm, with the amount of people on that website, if you take your stream there and you can succeed, the potential's there. It is
absolutely.
super saturated, but like if you are a big content creator and you've got an audience, like streaming there could be really, really good. I've considered it a few times. It's just I like the diversity of having both.
I think
But-
if you're already established, Twitch is better. I think if you're starting up, I gotta recommend YouTube, dude. If you're like
Absolutely.
you're a brand new Twitch streamer, you're like buried at you have like no chance of being discovered, like
Nope.
no chance. So
Every
on
time
YouTube,
someone asks me for
you
tips, I
do.
say make a YouTube because you're never,
Yeah.
no one will know you exist on Twitch. No one knows.
That's right.
There's no algorithm.
right.
There's no searching. You have no chance.
You
And
have to
Twitch does-
create a seed community somewhere else and then import them into your Twitch in order to bolster your channel. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. Like Twitch is not focused on growth at all. Like they're just
Mhm.
focused on making the big streamers already bigger.
Yeah, here's the thing to respond to that question directly. I don't know if content creators are ready yet to jump ship, but I will say that Twitch is in a position right now where they need some wins. They really need to show some good favor, and they need some big wins because right now
I don't know. Like, in all honesty, I'm just gonna say, like, dude, Twitch does the dumbest crap constantly every week, and we rip on them, but like no one leaves. Like, what are they gonna need to do?
That's a
Like,
good question.
honestly, what possibly
Well,
could they do?
And at the
to,
end of the day, like every platform has skeletons in the closet. They're all big companies with lots of people, and people make bad choices. People that's just a fact. People make bad choices. And so I don't want to jump on Twitch like, oh, like, yeah, you gotta get out of there. Yeah, go ahead and switch platforms over to Facebook who's selling your information to the Russians. You know what I mean? Like every platform has their drawback. You know what I mean? They really, really do.
Right.
The question is, what's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? And then on the viewer side of things, for the viewer, you just have to have consistency. This is one of the things that drives me nuts because you get a lot of people who are like, I'm completely unwilling to support this streaming platform, so I'll watch over here. And it's like, well, your reasons for not supporting them are the same. I mean, they're doing the same thing. Essentially, they're doing very similar things, or maybe a different, completely amoral, unethical thing too. So if you have an ethical problem with one platform, you got to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, I'm totally against McDonald's because of the unethical treatment of cows in the industry, so I will only eat from Wendy's. You're like, that
like
doesn't
they
check
do
out.
it too.
Like if you believe that's fine, but don't go eating over there either. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say this is so random, but I just have to say it publicly
Mhm.
for all the hundreds of people who are watching us? Can I say, whoever made the A&W commercials, I hate so much. I hate those when they just because it's such a stupid Canadian thing, and I don't know if they have the same commercials in America where they give these A&W. A&W's fine, like it's not terrible, but they give these A&W burgers to people, and people eat these burgers, and they're like, "This is the best burger I've ever had." It's like, oh. The A&W burger is the best burger you've ever had in your life. Well, what is, dude?
This is
It's
the
like
best $4 burger.
either you're
I've had.
lying or you're an idiot, dude. Like either way, this guy should not like. It's just like, oh my god.
Well, and it's like,
dude.
and he like pulls the burger out of like a cooler. And just like, is that even warm? Like, when did you cook that burger,
And
bro?
the guy like gags on it. He's like, "It's the best burger
It's like
I've ever had."
not a paid advertiser. Is that a Ford truck? I can't freaking believe it.
You know what though? It actually might be real because, dude, I hate to say that though. I hate to bash our own kind, but Canadians are like that. Canadians can be frugal, dude. This is a tangent, but I had a family member. We gave him like a really nice chocolate, Bernard Callebaut chocolate. It was delicious, and he ate it. And it was like, oh, this is such delicious chocolate. He ate this chocolate, and he goes, yeah, but I would have been fine with Cadbury. I'm like, get out of my house right now. Like I used to, like, come on, dude. It's so much better. It's like you're such a simpleton.
Okay,
Enjoying
listen.
good things.
You're hearing this from Foodie King 99.
Yeah,
he's like, here,
to-
grab this mustard and jelly, put this with
we
the
had to
bruschetta,
drag
and
this
put the
guy to
prosciutto.
nice restaurants.
Oh my
We
god!
bring him to a nice restaurant because he finally eats something other than like McDonald's McGriddles and stuff. And then he's like, "This is the best breakfast I've ever had." He leaves that part out. He's like eating it. He's eating it up. He made us go back there so he could get the same thing. He was loving it. He was loving it, dude. He's such a little dude. Anyway,
So where I live now is not where I grew up. I grew up in basically Indianapolis, and now I live in Michigan because where my wife is from. And the heritage here is there's a whole lot of Dutch people, and there's this sort of stereotype, this stigma that follows Dutch immigrants is that they are always looking for a deal. They're hagglers, and they're couponers, and you know what I'm saying. And this is like a big part of their culture is spending less to get more. And so there's people around here who are like, you could take them out to a nice steak dinner, and you'll be like, how was that? And they'll be like, it was delicious, but for the same amount of money, I could have had 12 meals at McDonald's. I'm like, that's not what I asked you. I don't care. No one's gonna eat 12 meals in one sitting.
We've all had people do that, dude. Like I used to have a family member that would buy like the cheapest, gristliest steak and then spend like so long on a charcoal grill making it actually palatable. And it's like, why don't you just buy a good steak and then make it absolutely delicious than buy a trash steak and make it okay? Like, what are you doing over there? Okay, back to the question. Can we say back to the question?
Quick readout. Chalfie with a $10 donation. Louis Chaves with two $5. He said, how do you become a member? There's a link right now. I'm posting it in the chat. If you click that, you can become a member by clicking that and click join. There's a join button. It should be blue on the stream. Oh, do you have any questions for us? Because
Someone asked a good
I just see
question of
food chat. Like I see a
if
maple bacon burger, and I'm
someone
like,
asked a good question. If you could change like one thing in Destiny, what would it be? Can I go first? And I would just say I
Yep.
would add weapons 2.0. I think the weapon system needs a rework. I think it's getting boring, and they can't just infinitely add new perks. I would add like another perk system. I would like potentially have a little bit more variability and maybe sights. Just something. There needs to be weapons 2.0. I think it's time.
Ryan, anything for you?
I just want a matchmaking system where I'm only matched against potatoes
Oh,
every game, and I can
Oh
farm
my.
good content. And I'm just
Yeah.
telling,
Well,
I am totally kidding. No, I want an end game PvP activity that has some good integrity to it. I mean, no third person peeking in the swords. I don't want. One of the biggest things for me is the intellect system. I think is really bad because
yeah, free supers. Yeah.
in every competitive mode, high intellect builds are like the way to go. So shoot less, get super energy, and super more than the other team is the strategy in every endgame PvP activity. I hate it. I want a focus on gunplay.
Here's a bold question
Uh,
on that. Do you think you should only be able to get supers for getting kills? Like that's
I
the
made
only
that
way to give you
suggestion a
super
long time
energy?
ago. Here's my suggestion a
Yeah,
long
it's an
time
interesting
ago. I
one.
had a video about this where I said, here's what I would love to see for the intellect system. I want everyone, regardless of what your intellect stat value is, everyone should have the same super energy generation rate, flat across the board. And intellect, in my opinion, should be tied to the amount of super energy you get for a kill or any activity that gives you super energy, capping a zone, where
Yeah.
getting an elimination, getting a kill.
Not camping in the corner like a baby and then only
With a
getting
sword
kills when you
out.
come out with a super.
So
Yeah,
the
with a sword
intellects.
out.
Mhm. So getting your super first means you are getting engaged. And so that's what I think. I think everyone should have the same super generation rate. Now, I got a lot of pushback from
People who love
honestly
camping.
just saying honestly just to say it like it is, the casual gamers didn't like that I said that. And I totally understand that, and I respect their skill level. I respect their level of investment into the game, but at the same time, you cannot alienate the people who love your game the most and play your game the most and support your game the most.
Yeah.
And so
All right.
unfortunately, this system does that.
Tash, what about you?
Mine would be a loot overhaul. And you know in Skyrim when you get a legendary, like sometimes they're cracked, sometimes they're not, but there's like a quest and at the end of it there's a legendary and it matters. That's one of the reasons why I loved Pinnacles, because it was like, I'm gonna get the mountaintop at the end. I'm gonna get the Revoker. And like I felt like they were different enough that I cared about them. And there's not a lot of gear that I care about in Destiny, and I would love to stop getting tons and tons of blues and then purples, which are essentially blues, a lot of the time. Like I feel like there's no real rarity in the game, and I don't know. I just wish I cared more about the gear, and if they could just start spicing things up, like give me an exotic class item that just gives me stats. Like gives me intellect and strength. It doesn't do anything special. It's just like a stat stick, or just like
Yeah.
different things to spice it up, or like maybe in the case of like the Titan, it's like almost like a rallying flag. Like you follow behind me, and it gives other people buffs or different things like that. Just some creativity, and
You're telling me
I think the new exotics in Beyond Light, they do look really
cut,
creative, very
They
creative.
do.
So
I'm stockpiling
I'm very
engrams.
excited about those exotics. So I think that's just a big one. It's just interesting things, because I feel like it's like gnawing hunger forever, like it's for months.
Gnawing hunger
you
can
could
die in a
even
couch fire.
Yeah, you could even add like a different rarity, either above or like in between legendary and exotic, where like maybe just make pinnacles red weapons or something where you can only use one. So you can't have mountaintop and recluse. That would be impossible. You have to pick one or the other. Like the reason those two things were so broken is because you could have both of them, honestly. Or add one above exotic, where you can only have one of it, period. And it's either a weapon piece or an armor piece, but you can't have like two reds. You have one red armor piece, right?
Right.
And then obviously you couldn't have another exotic armor piece. Or maybe if you had this red exotic armor piece, you couldn't have any other reds or exotic weapons or armor. It's just like you're one, and it takes over the whole class.
Maybe.
I'm just saying like something like that would introduce like another layer. They need to the point about Pinnacles is a good point. Like they need to find something to do with these like creative but not quite yet exotic weapons.
Right. Just so they're not like breaking the game, but also I care about them. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Even if they just added like, I don't know. It's such a big thing, and we don't know. Yeah. What?
Can we just make it so it doesn't spit blues at you, and then so many
God.
blues that it forces stacks of 10 Ascendant shards out of your stupid
Bro,
postmaster?
I say this literally every day I play the game. I have to go back to the tower. It's like a tether point. Let me toggle off blue drops. I don't even care about the materials. I got plenty of them. I just want to toggle them off.
That should be like honestly like a priority. Like being
Here you
able
go.
to,
Here's 6 drops that mean absolutely nothing. I don't
just
want 6
give me
drops that
some
mean
weapon
nothing.
materials. Yeah,
I'd rather get nothing than 6 things that mean nothing to me. I'd rather just have see no drop until I get just a random exotic drop or a legendary drop. That's fine.
I just want to read out a couple more. We got a bunch of members just right there when we posted the link. The gold booster, the AU booster, Brandon Bassinger, Andy GH, and the Cayman. 4 new members back to back to back to back. Hell yeah!
Thank you
so
Bam,
much,
baby.
Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
Now this episode has gone pretty long. Is there any other things we want to talk about? Is there any other last minute questions we want to discuss?
I gotta pee like a racehorse.
I know. I'm thinking. I gotta go.
Yeah, well, I want to stay now. If it means True Banger is uncomfortable and is gonna like get whiskey all over his jeans, oh come on, dude. I think
right.
one other thing that I do want to just be nice. One more thing, someone talked about a trading system, and like I think though in Destiny it's just a little too late. However, I will say the one interesting caveat is kind of the way like the Division 2 does it, where like you can only trade with people that are in your group, and like in Division 2 it doesn't. If someone like comes into your group, they can't get the loot. It has to be like dropped while they were there, and then you can specifically share it to that one person. So it's kind of a limited trading system. It's not like there's an auction house or something crazy. And I think maybe with that, just so that like, hey, I got my second anarchy, I can give it to you. You're with me throughout this whole raid. You deserve it. That's what I think they could get away with that, to be honest.
That'd be the only way I'd be okay with it. I absolutely do not want to end up with a marketplace system in Destiny 2.
It can't. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
You're already selling recubs. Could you imagine just actually selling the exotics?
Selling God rolled Ias Luna. Yeah, no. It would be a nightmare. But yeah, I think that system could work. Because like even in the raid, there might be a weapon that you love and the other people hate. Like maybe someone wants that pulse rifle and is like, oh, I keep getting Sacred Providence and I'm raging. And then the other person's like, I love that gun. Like, can I have it? Like, it could be a cool community thing. You could kind of carry people through, or just like even gear up your raid team, and it feels like it's like a team effort. And wait, who got the hand cannon? Right, Jimbo got it. All right, give it to me.
You've got 30 seconds to decide, to look at the roll and decide if you want to keep it or drop it for the party. Oh, I'm fine with that.
I need the energy weapon because my power level's lower. You know, like you could almost like min max together too. Like it'd be really cool.
It would. To that point, in terms of leveling, it would counteract some of the BS. I mean, like, for goodness sakes, with this newest raid, the fact that it didn't even have a heavy weapon and the fact that it was like all energy weapons, God knows that was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how nice would it have been to be like, yo, I got the helmet. I already have one. I know you need it. Here you go. Right. So
thank you, Nathan, by the way. Appreciate you for
Nathan Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Advanced GG. Go to advanced.gg, get all the juicy new flavors restocked, and use code RGH. Because we are RGH. I'm Mtashed.
That's you.
No.
He's not doing it.
You always go second. Don't ruin it.
You said my channel's dying, so I'm not doing it.
Okay, come on. Do the outro.
I'm True Vanguard.
And that's KackisHD. He's a baby. And we will see you for episode 8 next Wednesday, exact same time. Make sure you're following. Make sure that you are hitting that notification. And we love you.
Channel posts too, because we're going to be posting, and you can reply with topics and all that stuff as well.
Yeah, and comment about the emotes in the community tab. There's a comment. We need emote ideas. Thank you so much. Talk to you.